On November 3, 1998, just after her 8th birthday, Meddy Clifton disappeared. At first, everyone thought she'd be found within a couple of hours, but the search ended up putting the entire neighborhood on high alert. And the way she was eventually found, most people go into shock when they hear it. The story even went viral on TikTok. Because it involves a child, many viewers said it left a deep emotional impact, so it's not recommended for everyone to watch. If you hit like and leave at least a dot or an emoji in the comments, I'd really appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit subscribe. Now switch your brain into universe mode, because out in the universe, nothing can interrupt you while watching this video. Meddy Clifton was born June 17, 1990 in Jacksonville, Florida. She had one older sister named Jessica. They lived in a quiet neighborhood full of families. Kids played outside freely while adults kept an eye on them from a distance. If you didn't grow up in the digital age, you know exactly what that kind of freedom felt like. Everyone knew each other, trusted each other, and that trust was rarely broken. Parents didn't stress too much about letting kids play outside. And that's exactly what Meddy's parents did on November 3, 1998, they let her go outside to play, just like always. Meddy was a top student, smart, active, took piano lessons, and even performed at school events. She was 8 years old at the time, Jessica was 11. Their neighborhood was peaceful, and Meddy had this habit, like a lot of us did as kids, of knocking on neighbors' doors every day, asking kids to come out and play. Some would come, some wouldn't, but either way there were always people outside, and adults supervising. That day she also went door to door, but most kids were busy. So she decided to play alone. A few minutes later a couple of kids finally came out, and they started playing with a golf ball. Before long, the golf ball rolled away. "We have to find it," the kids said. Meddy offered, "I have more balls at home, I'll go get them." They told her, "Okay, we'll wait right here." None of them knew, this would be the last time they ever saw her. When Meddy walked into the house, Jessica was practicing piano. Meddy told her, "I want to go back outside to play, I'll just grab some balls." Jessica snapped, "Not now, I'm practicing, don't bother me." So Meddy said, "Okay, then I'll just look somewhere else. If I can't find one, I'll tell the kids," and she went back outside. Later that evening around 5 p.m., Meddy's parents were preparing dinner. Everything was set, and they asked Jessica to go get her sister so they could eat together. Jessica took her bike and rode around to look for her. She checked the spot where the kids were playing. They told her, Meddy already went home. Jessica didn't really believe it. She circled the streets on her bike, shouting Meddy's name. She even checked a few houses, maybe Meddy went inside someone's home, she thought. But there was no sign of her. She went back home and told her parents she couldn't find her anywhere. That's when they called the police. The first 7 days after Meddy's disappearance were the darkest, most hopeless days of that family's life. Police, neighbors, volunteers, everyone was involved. Statistically, when a child goes missing, the chance of finding them alive drops with every passing hour. It basically cuts in half every 6 to 8 hours. That's why those first hours are critical. Police showed up at the Clifton home immediately. They started questioning neighbors, especially the kids who were playing with her. Everyone gave the same answer: she went to get golf balls, and no one saw her after that. Some neighbors said they never saw her at all that day, which made sense. Meddy wasn't even outside for a full 2 hours total. The disappearance of an 8-year-old shook the whole city. Search efforts grew massive. Investigators, volunteers, dogs, neighbors, everyone helped. Posters with Meddy's photo were printed and spread around town. People walked through streets yelling, "Meddy!" They went door to door. Her parents stayed in the house almost around the clock, waiting for any news. Every knock at the door, every phone call, they treated like a new chance for hope. But after a full week, there was still no progress. That's when police decided to bring in the FBI. During the investigation, a few suspects came up. The first one was a man who lived just a few streets away. About 15 to 20 years earlier he'd been convicted of sexual assault but was later released. Because of that history, police started with him. But no solid link was found. Yes, he had a criminal past, but there was no evidence tying him to this case. There was another person of interest, a man around 45. He would always sit and watch the kids play. Some neighbors felt uneasy about it, though most people thought he was harmless. He said he just liked remembering his childhood and feeling young again. Police questioned him too, and he proved that at the time Mehdi disappeared, he was somewhere else. But still, he failed the polygraph test. That made investigators suspicious. But a polygraph isn't proof, it can be wrong. They didn't have enough to arrest him, so they just left him on the suspect list. A few days later, everyone started losing hope. Police shifted from searching for Mehdi alive to searching for a body. The family was completely drained, emotionally and mentally destroyed. Mehdi's disappearance had turned their world upside down. Right across the street lived the Phillips family, and they were heavily involved in the search too. They were a couple with a 14-year-old son named Joshua. They also had 2 older kids, but they'd already moved out, so Joshua was basically growing up as an only child. The Phillips family had a good neighborly relationship with the Cliftons. After Mehdi disappeared, they searched like everyone else, especially 14-year-old Joshua. He was actually the one who helped plan making and distributing the posters around the city. He looked genuinely worried. But on November 10th, exactly 1 week after Mehdi vanished, everything took an unexpected turn. That morning, Joshua's mom, Melissa, was home alone. Her husband was at work, Joshua was at school. She began cleaning the house. While cleaning, she noticed a strong, foul smell. It was coming from Joshua's room. At first she didn't think much of it. Joshua had a pet cage in there, and he almost never cleaned it. She thought, he's at school, so I might as well clean it myself. She took the cage outside and began tidying up the room. But this time, the smell was much stronger than usual. Something was off. As she looked around, she noticed liquid leaking out from under Joshua's bed. She assumed maybe he had spilled something and it soaked in the mattress, which could explain the smell. But when she lifted the top sheet, she noticed something strange. There was a hole in the mattress, and Joshua had tried to cover it up with several layers of duct tape. He had even stuffed a sock into the hole. Melissa thought, why a sock? What is this? She tried pulling the sock out, but it wouldn't come out. She pulled harder, still stuck. So she decided to peel off the duct tape. As she slowly peeled away the tape, suddenly, it wasn't liquid coming out. It was something else entirely. Under the mattress was Mehdi's body. It was an indescribable horror. Melissa couldn't believe what she was seeing. The boy who had been helping hang posters and search for the missing girl had been hiding her corpse under his bed the whole time. It was beyond human comprehension. She immediately tried to contact her husband, but he was at work and didn't pick up. So Melissa ran to the police officers, who at that moment were inside the Clifton home. She told them everything. Police rushed to Joshua's room. Meanwhile, Mehdi's parents, Steve and Sheila, were sitting in their living room, waiting for a press conference. All they wanted was an update about their daughter. Instead, someone walked in and delivered the most horrifying news imaginable. Can you picture being a parent waiting to hear your child might be alive, and then hearing that? Police began collecting evidence. Mehdi's body was partially clothed. She had been beaten with a baseball bat and stabbed multiple times. While searching the room, investigators found several disturbing items: blood-stained sneakers in the closet, blood spatter on the ceiling, a knife hidden behind Joshua's TV, and a baseball bat under the bed. And the most chilling detail, on the wall of his room hung one of Mehdi's missing posters. The same poster he had helped print and put up around town. He hung it right across from his bed. Just think about it, every night he went to sleep with that missing girl's face hanging on his wall, staring right at him, while her body was literally hidden under his bed. He lived like that for a week. He was 14, and even now, reading this, an adult would be terrified to sleep in that room, let alone a kid, and he did it knowingly. When police searched the room, they found all kinds of things. Joshua had tried to cover the smell. he'd bought sprays, perfumes, deodorizers, candles. But how long can you hide the smell of a decomposing body? The stench only gets stronger with time. Investigators quickly learned something else. Mehdi had been killed inside that same room, in Joshua's room. The murder was brutal. There was blood spatter all the way up to the ceiling. And went to Joshua's school and arrested him during class. His classmates were stunned. Nobody would have expected something like that from Joshua. So who was Joshua? He was born March 17, 1984 in Pennsylvania. Later, the family moved to Florida. They bought the house right across from the Cliftons, the same year Mehdi was born. Joshua's father was a computer specialist, but known to be extremely aggressive and abusive. He had been married twice, and both wives, and all his children, including Joshua, had been abused by him. He did not like kids. He didn't want them in his house, let alone in his room. Joshua grew up in constant fear. When police arrested him, Joshua gave his version of events. According to him, he was outside playing baseball when Mehdi came and said she wanted to play too. At first he didn't want to, because his father strictly forbade having other kids at the house when he wasn't home. But Mehdi insisted, and he finally let her. He claimed that during the game he accidentally hit her in the face with the baseball bat. She started crying, screaming, yelling for help. Joshua panicked. He thought if his parents found out, he would be severely punished. So, according to him, he dragged Mehdi inside and into his bedroom, and there, he strangled her. Then, to make sure she was dead, he hit her again with the bat. After that, he stuffed her body inside his mattress before his parents returned home, sometime around 5 p.m., the same time Mehdi's mother had already reported her missing. Joshua later admitted that during the nights he took the body back out, cut her throat, then put her back under the bed. Mehdi's body remained there for 7 full days. He also admitted buying sprays, deodorizers, candles to hide the smell. When asked, "What were you going to do with the body?" he said simply, "I didn't know. I never made a plan. I thought time would pass and something would just happen." Those words, childish, but horrifyingly careless. After that, Joshua was charged with first-degree murder. His lawyers argued in his defense, he was just a kid. He panicked. Yes, maybe he really was scared. Maybe he didn't fully grasp what he was doing. Maybe he was horrified by his own actions. But none of that excuses it. And now comes the turning point of this case, because later evidence showed that Mehdi's death was not the kind of accident Joshua described. There were contradictions. Mehdi's older sister later said, "We were forbidden to speak to Joshua. Even our parents told us, 'Don't go near that boy, don't play with him.' Why? Because one day Joshua had come over and made extremely inappropriate sexual jokes. The girls told their parents, and from that day on they were ordered to stay away from him. That makes it very strange that Mehdi, a quiet, obedient child, would suddenly voluntarily go into his house to play. She never disobeyed her parents. So the question is, did Mehdi really go there on her own? Or did someone call her? Lure her? Force her? So was this really an accident, like Joshua claimed? Did he really hit her with a bat first? The autopsy said otherwise. Medical examiners found no impact injuries on Mehdi's face, nothing consistent with a baseball bat. No swelling, no bruising, no fracture. The only marks were from strangulation. She was strangled for around 15 minutes. But even that alone was not enough to kill her. It caused pain, terror, and suffering. Then after that Joshua took the bat and beat her. Then he shoved her body under the bed. Imagine this, he went to sleep every night staring at that girl's face on his wall, all while her body was hidden right under his bed. He lived with that knowledge. And this kid was only 14. He later said he was scared to even sleep alone, and the body was right there with him. When police searched the room, they found a lot of things. Joshua had bought sprays, perfumes, candles, anything just to hide the smell. But for how long can a smell like that be hidden? A decomposing body only gets worse. When police began investigating, they immediately confirmed something: Mehdi was killed in that room, Joshua's bedroom. And it wasn't some mild accident. Blood had even splattered onto the ceiling. Police went to Joshua's school and arrested him right there, in the middle of class. His classmates were shocked. No one ever imagined something like this from Joshua. So who was Joshua? He was born March 17, 1984 in Pennsylvania, then moved to Florida. They moved into the house right across from Mehdi's family. Coincidentally, the same year Joshua was born, Mehdi was born too. Joshua's father was a computer specialist, but he was well known for being aggressive and violent. He had been married twice, and he abused both wives and all the kids, including Joshua. He hated having kids around. No one was even allowed inside his room. So Joshua grew up in constant fear. When he got arrested, Joshua told his version. He said that day he was in the yard playing baseball when Mehdi came and asked to play. He said he didn't want to because children entering the house when his dad wasn't home was strictly forbidden. But Mehdi insisted, so he let her play. According to him, during the game he accidentally hit her with the bat in the face. She cried and screamed. He panicked. He thought, if his parents found out, he'd be in serious trouble. So he dragged her inside into his room. And there, he said he strangled her. Then to make sure she was dead, he hit her again with the bat. He then stuffed her body inside his mattress. Around 5 p.m., Mehdi's mother called police to report her missing. Joshua admitted that at night he pulled the body back out, cut her throat, then put it back under the mattress. Mehdi's body stayed there for 7 days. He also admitted he bought sprays and candles to hide the smell. When asked what his plan was for the body, he just said, "I didn't know. I thought time would solve it." These words sounded childish, but horrifying. Joshua was charged with first-degree murder. His lawyers argued he was just a kid. He acted out of panic. Maybe he was truly scared. Maybe he really didn't understand what he was doing. Maybe he was horrified afterward. But none of that changes what happened. And here is where everything turns. Evidence proved Mehdi's death was not some accident. Witnesses said that even when Mehdi was under the mattress, they heard her moaning. Meaning, she was still alive. Joshua opened the bed, took a knife, and stabbed her multiple times in the chest and face. And the horror still doesn't end. Autopsy showed, Mehdi's body was found without underwear. She was only wearing socks, and her shirt was wrapped around her neck. People began to ask, was this sexual? Medical examiners found no physical evidence of sexual assault. But investigators did uncover something else. Joshua had watched violent sexual content just 30 minutes before Mehdi's death, and again 30 minutes after killing her. Two theories formed. Theory 1, he was aroused by those videos, saw Mehdi, and acted on an impulse. Theory 2, he watched such videos daily, so after killing her, he simply went back to his routine. But one more detail made everything weirder: the clothing. If there was no assault, then why was she undressed? Joshua said the clothes came off when he dragged her. That explanation makes no sense. And remember, he claimed he dragged her from the yard into his room. But the body had no scratches, no soil, no grass stains. Nothing. So she wasn't dragged. She walked in. Then another fact, Mehdi's mom later said there was no space to play baseball there, the yard had a pool. They couldn't have played. So Joshua's entire story might be a lie. Investigators came up with a more believable theory. That day Mehdi was late for piano lessons. Her team told her to bring golf balls. She remembered Joshua had taken their golf balls before. So she likely went to his house to get them. Joshua said they were in his room. She trusted him and went inside. But inside, something else happened. Maybe Joshua had just watched porn and was already in a disturbed mental state. Maybe he lured her in with the intention of assaulting her. When she resisted and screamed, he strangled her. So this wasn't an accident. This was an intentional, violent, premeditated crime, covered up with lies. And this story destroyed not just two families, but the entire community. I personally think this is the most believable version. Nothing is officially confirmed, so we will never know 100% what happened. But what we do know is that Joshua killed Mehdi knowingly, and he was tried like an adult and sentenced to life. And honestly, I think that was the right decision. Serial killers often show signs at 14 by torturing animals. He jumped straight to killing a child. Locking him away protects others. What do you think? Tell me in the comments. Take care of yourselves. I love you all. Goodbye for now.